it's Holiday Branch here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I want to start off this video by saying thank you guys so much for liking my videos, for subscribing to my channel, most importantly for engaging as well. I love reading all of your comments on my videos, telling me that you guys are enjoying my stories, giving me content ideas. Let's keep that going, okay? With that being said, if you guys are new to my YouTube channel, well, welcome. My name is Holiday Branch and I like to tell stories. So make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can hear all the wild stuff that I have done in my early 20s. And here we go. This is one of them. If you guys have been following me on Instagram for a while, it is I am Holiday Branch. Then you guys already know that I am a raver. Yes, I am a raver, but I'm not just any raver, okay? I am a veteran. I have been attending shows since 2014, and I've been going to a lot of shows from like Insomniac to like the mainstream Coachella, but also I have attended one of the biggest festivals such as Movement, which is a huge techno event in Detroit, but I've also had the privilege to attend one of the most exciting events of the entire year, and that is Burning Man. Yes, I had the privilege to attend Burning Man, and here is the story. Now, if you guys haven't watched my first two videos, I highly suggest that you do. I will leave a link in the description below. And if you guys have watched my first two videos, then you guys already know that I'm a huge fan of online dating. I honestly believe that it's one of the best ways to meet people, especially when you live in really big cities such as LA and Orange County. Well, of course, I met this guy who we're gonna name him Billy. I met this guy online, and while I was, talking to him, exchanging phone numbers, and I was actually at Coachella. And so because I was at Coachella, I was like sending him photos, videos of my outfits and stuff. And so when I had a date with him that following week, he was just like, hey, you like going to festivals? Have you ever been to Burning Man? And I was 22 years old at the time. I haven't even started stripping yet, okay? I was just working my 9 to 5 at LAX. And so with that being said, I was just like, you know what, Billy? I would love to go to Burning Man, but that is not possible at all because number one, tickets are really, really expensive and they're really hard to get your hands on. And even if I was able to get a ticket to Burning Man, I wouldn't be able to go because no one from my age group can like afford to go. Therefore, I can't go by myself. With that being said, at least at this very moment, it's just not possible. And he was just like, well, if this relationship goes really well, I'm gonna take it to Burning Man. And I'm just like, whatever, fuck you, you're such full of bullshit. I just met this guy literally 2 hours ago, and this guy's promising me an experience of a lifetime. Well, I just said, all right, cool, that's fine, and that's it. We never talked about it for the entire summer that we were hanging out until this very moment. Now, I gave you guys a timeline, right? I met this guy on April 2017, immediately after Coachella, and we spent the entire summer together. Now it is August, okay? Now, if you guys have watched my first video on how I got into exotic dancing, and if you guys haven't, link in the description below, then you guys know that the month of August was really important because that was the month that I started dipping my feet into dancing. And this was a guy that I was casually dating, okay? He was not my boyfriend at all whatsoever, but yet when I told him that I started dancing, he was so freaking upset with me, so upset. And I just didn't care because I was just like, you're not my boyfriend, you don't pay my bills, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, sir. And so I remember there was so much tension between us, but I really didn't care. And so with that being said, I remember we was having this discussion, at a bar, and towards the end of the night, he just came to the, agreement that I was just gonna do whatever I want. He was not gonna pull me out of that idea. And so when we walked to his car, he was just like, okay, now let's talk on a lighter note. What are you gonna do for Labor Day weekend? Well, me being the basic raver that I was at the time, I was just like, well, I just think I'm just gonna go to Nocturnal Wonderland and, spend the weekend over there by myself. And he was just like, do you really want to go to Nocturnal Wonderland? And I'm like, no, not really. And he was just like, well, do you want to go to Burning Man? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I would love to go to Burning Man. But Billy, how are you gonna be able to find tickets when the burn is in 3 weeks. And he was just like, trust me, I can find tickets to the burn, okay? I'm just asking you before I make that type of commitment. Do you want to go to the burn? And I was just like, you know what? Fuck yeah. Like, I want to go to the burn. And yes, actually Billy came through. Not only was he able to get his hands on 2 tickets to the burn, but also a car camping pass. He was able to book tickets from and to Reno, which I didn't know that was actually a really big deal, because apparently like it's really hard to book tickets from Reno. But also he was able to get like a really nice decent minivan that we could actually camp and put our stuff while we're running around in the playa. Now, you need to understand that this was a really big deal for me, because at the time, not only was I 22 years old, but I have only been able to attend really mediocre events, okay? I'm talking about like your mainstream insomniac events, which is like EDC, Nocturnal, Beyond, and so forth. And so my only impression that I had of Burning Man was the episode from Malcolm in the Middle. Now, if you guys watch Malcolm in the Middle, then you guys know that there's an episode in where Malcolm and his entire family go to Burning Man. And I'm letting you know that everything that happened in that episode happened to me, plus on steroids, okay? Now here are the 10 things that I got to see at Burning Man. Here you go. Number 1, I got to see Skrillex on my first night, okay? Now, I do need to put a disclaimer. I wasn't able to attend the entire week of the burn because I was going to school at the time, and also Billy had work. So we both agreed on going Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then leaving Sunday morning just to go to the airport and arrive at LAX Sunday night, so when Monday comes around we can get back to our regular schedule. And so when we landed on Thursday to Reno, we end up driving from Reno to the burn, which is like 5 hours away. So by the time that we got there, it was like Friday at 2 in the morning. And so me being the excited, 22-year-old that I was, I immediately jumped on my bike and I started running around the playa, and I started getting deeper and deeper into the clock. It's 2, 3 in the morning and it's like a really lively city, okay? There's people drinking, partying, music playing everywhere, carts all around, okay? And I remember I saw this beautiful cart and they were playing What So Not. Now, you need to understand that Burning Man, it's a really, it's their audience, at least at the time when I went, it was more of an older crowd, and older crowds love techno and house music. They love techno and house music. So when I heard someone play What So Not, it really intrigued me, and so I went straight into that cart. And there was only about 10 people around this cart, and I looked at the guy and I was just like, who is that guy? He looks so familiar. And so I talked to one of the guys who was right next to me and I was like, hey, who's playing? And he's like, oh, that's Skrillex. What? Skrillex? What the fuck? I literally was so in shock. And at this moment, I didn't have my phone because I left it in the car to charge. I literally was dying inside of me, and I just couldn't believe that Skrillex was playing in the middle of the freaking desert and there's only 10 people watching him. It was just something that I just couldn't believe. And so that's just a memory that I will never forget. I got to see Skrillex on my first night on an empty, basically on an empty set. Number 2, there is a lot of nudity and sexual activity happening at the playa. Now, you need to understand that Burning Man is not just a festival, it's actually a community, it is a lifestyle, okay? And one of the most important things to understand about Burning Man is that anything could happen, okay? Anything goes, there is no rules, there is no judgmental at all whatsoever. And with that being said, there is a lot of nudity going on at the playa. There's a lot of people who are walking around naked, whether they're young or they're old, whether they're good looking or not. And one thing that really did catch my attention was that there was a lot of couches, there was a lot of beds, there was even trampolines that were filled with pillows and blankets that were used as beds. And because there were so many of those, there were so many couples that were having sex in an open area, okay? And you need to understand that that was something that was really exciting for me, because I was just like, wow, people are so free and they really don't care. Oh my god, it's actually kind of beautiful and very admirable. And so yeah, there's a lot of nudity and sexual activity going on. One thing is for sure is that even though it is a free open space, definitely boundaries are so important. Like if you make anyone uncomfortable, they will let you know, okay? And with that being said, there's a lot of respect within the community. I think that's the reason why like Burning Man is such a special place and why they make it really difficult for people to get there, because they want to exclude people that have really bad intentions. And so yeah, now that we're on the topic of sexuality and nudity at the burn, number 3, the orgy tent is a real thing, okay? It's real. I got to see it, I got to be in it, and I got to experience it. As I mentioned before, respect boundaries is something that's really important at the burn, and that is no exception to the orgy tent. Now, I will not get into details of what happens at the orgy tent because number one, YouTube is just not the platform to do that, but I will tell you that it is not what you think it is. It's super clean, it's super respectful, there's a lot of rules. Actually, you have to attend a class before you get to go inside the orgy tent. But I'm letting you know, it's actually like a beautiful experience, and I'm really, really happy that I got the privilege to be part of it. And so thank you, Billy, for making that happen. It's amazing. Now, this will be the last topic regarding about sexuality and nudity, but also number 4, the craziest thing that I got to experience was a shower party. Now, a lot of people kind of have fear regarding about Burning Man, and the reason why is because it's in the middle of a desert, and yeah, it's really hard to get access to showers. Now, if you go to Burning Man, you do have the option to go by yourself, or you're able to join a camp. If you were to join a camp, you will definitely be part of a community, and these communities are basically like little villages. Like everyone is trying to help each other survive for the week. And there was a camp that was offering a shower. Now, this was just not just any shower, okay? This was just like a party, okay? When you go inside that huge line, and once again, you have to like attend like a class in where people tell you the rules and how it's really important to respect people's boundaries and respect people's space and such forth. You go in there and you see people dancing, they're clean, they're naked, and there's a DJ playing some really good house music. And when you see that, you go inside into like a shower, I guess you could say like a shower tent, and there's people dancing on top of the shower tent, and then everybody throws you bubbles, and they give you like a couple of minutes for you to rub yourself, and then the people are dancing and they're like, all right, we're gonna start throwing you the water, and then they squirt you with water. And yeah, like I was literally taking a shower with a bunch of naked people, and across from me are like people, you know, dancing to like really good house music, booty ass naked. And so yeah, like I was not only like able to take a shower with like, you know, a couple of strangers, but I got to dance afterwards naked with a couple of strangers. And that was something that I never thought that I was gonna do. Now, I did mention that when you go to Burning Man, you do have the option to join a camp. And when you join a camp, you're basically partaking a community, and you're actually are required to volunteer your time and your services to contribute back to the event. And so one of the popular things that these camps do is that they host a bar, like an open bar. And so it's funny because after the shower thing that me and Billy went, we stopped at a random bar, and I actually got to meet one of my favorite guys. Hey, what's up, Cub? It's nice to see you. Thank you so much for the hot Cheetos. And yeah, like these camps hold bars, and that was like one of my favorite things to do while I was there at the Burning Man, that I got to bar hop all these different bars and got to meet so many different people, got to meet so many different camps. And I'm not gonna lie, like I was just really excited. I was just that newbie. I was like, hey, my name is Holiday and this is my first burn. And it was just really exciting because, like, you know, like you have all these older people who are just as excited as you are, and they're just, you know, they're just there to have a good time, and just to like have that type of like interaction is just something that's like that I couldn't compare to like any event that I have gone to. And so that was one of my favorite things to do, is to go bar hopping at these bars that were hosted by the camps. Now, you wouldn't be able to have Burning Man unless you had all the beautiful art, the sculptures, the carts, and so forth. And so there is definitely a theme that always happens at Burning Man. And one of my favorite things that I got to see at the burn was the temple. Now, at the time, I don't know if they do this every year, but the year that I went was 2017, and they had like a temple. And now, even though Burning Man is like all fun and games, it's definitely like a spiritual thing. Actually, the guy who actually founded Burning Man, his story is it's very tragic. From my understanding, is that the guy was having a really bad time. He was having a horrible time in his life, and you know, he decided with him and his buddies to like go to the middle of the desert and just, you know, like have a good time. And so out of all that anger and spite that he had, he decided to like make a little man and burn it. And that's something that he decided to do every year. And so one thing is for sure is that a lot of these people go there just to like escape from their reality. They just want to have a good time. And so at the temple, at the time when I went, it was what it is. It's a temple. And so when you go there, it's basically like a tribute for all the people that have passed away. And I'm not gonna lie, Billy got really sad, and he was able to share something that happened to him, you know, very tragically. And at that very moment, I just felt so sad because, you know, when you're walking to the temple, you're seeing like all these pictures of all these people who have passed away, whether they're babies, moms, you know, partners, or like friends and so forth. And it kind of just reminded me that, like, you know, these events are not only, you know, just to have fun and games, but it's also like, you know, finding purpose, finding fulfillment, and, you know, to find, you know, freedom. And, you know, like I said before, like a lot of people are there to express themselves, whether, you know, they're artistic, their sexuality, or just trying to find themselves. And so definitely the temple made a huge impression on me. And like I said before, like Billy like told me something that was really tragic, and I'm really thankful for that. So like, thank you for sharing that with me, Billy. And that definitely made like a huge impression in me. So yeah. Now, of course, Burning Man cannot be Burning Man unless you have windstorms, okay? So Burning Man is in the middle of the desert. It's like 5 to 6 hours away from Reno. And with that being said, there's a lot of storms that happen. There's a lot of wind that happens. And actually, not only were we caught up in a windstorm while we were on our way to the burning of the man, but we were caught in a windstorm while we're trying to get back to our car after the burning of the man. And I'm letting you know, like, those things are tornadoes. Like, those things are like, they're solid. And it's really, like I said before, like, there's nothing but dirt. So when the wind hits you, not only is it thick enough that you cannot see like through your nose, but also like there's little rocks that hits you. And so if you're stuck in one of those windstorms like how we were, fuck man, like I hope you were okay. Number 8, the thing that I got to experience the worst was the freaking weather. Like I said before, Burning Man is in a desert, and so with that being said, at nighttime it is really, really cold, okay? And if you're ever caught in one of those windstorms, the wind does not help. It is extra cold. And during the day, it is really, really hot. And if you're caught in one of those windstorms, it's really, really painful because all those rocks are hitting at you and you're not wearing any clothes at all, especially if you're a girl. So yeah, if you are going to the burn, be mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared to like face those challenges. The weather is can be your worst enemy there. Number 9, one of the most amazing things that I got to see was the art installations and the cards. I'm letting you know, when I arrived on Thursday, they were doing the burning of the pyramid. And so what it is, okay? So like, I don't know who are the artists, but all of these artists like built these huge sculptures, right? Like at that time it was a pyramid, and then, you know, they were gonna do the burning of the temple, and then of course they do the burning of the man. Like all these beautiful art installations that not only can you see, but I can actually experience, such as like walking and taking photos and being in the rooms and stuff like that. Those are man-made, okay? And towards the end of the week, they burn them. They burn them to the ground, to ashes. All of that hard work basically for nothing. And so you come to think about it, that's a very symbolic thing, right? Like you do your, you know, like think about it, like your entire life, you know, you do all these goals and you accomplish all of these things, you know, you make all this money and you have your kids and your wife or your husband and so forth. And when you're dead, you don't take nothing with you, right? That is basically the art installations. Holy shit, I am fucking woke as fuck. And like, yeah, everything that they make, all those huge, beautiful sculptures that they see, they burn them. They don't take them anywhere. They burn them. And most importantly that I got to experience at Burning Man is number 10, the fucking recovery. Okay, I'm letting you know, I only spent 3 days at Burning Man and 3 days was enough for me, okay? When I came back from Reno to LAX, I looked like shit, I smell like shit, I felt like shit, okay? I had no access to real food, I had no access to water, so I couldn't really shower besides that quick little party shower that basically didn't do anything because I just had like 2-3 minutes to shower. And I was caught up in a lot of windstorms for like as well, so my hair was a knot, okay? And I have a lot of hair, okay? My hair was in dreadlocks by the 3rd day, and I had makeup layered over makeup, layered over makeup. And yeah, I'm letting you know, like all those Instagram, you know, people that go to the burn and stuff like that, I don't know how they do it, because I did my best to keep my composure, and by the end of the week I just look like a fucking mess. So if you're ever going to go to the burn, be prepared to survive, okay? You just have to be comfortable with yourself, okay? You're just there to survive, and that's it. And those are the 10 things that I got to do, experience, and see at Burning Man, okay? Now, if you are a burner and you go there yearly or every other 2 years, write down in the comments below, like, do you have the same experience as me at Burning Man? What are your favorite things to do at the burn? And if so, just write it down in the comments, okay? Just tell us your crazy Burning Man stories, okay? Now, also, if you've never been to the burn, are you excited to go to the burn? Do you ever plan to go to the burn? And if so, tell me what are the things that you want to experience or that you expect to do or see at Burning Man, okay? Like I said before, my name is Holiday Branch. This is my YouTube channel. I like to tell stories here, and write down in the comments below what type of content that you want to see next. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Instagram, which is I am Holiday Branch. Bye, you guys!